So good morning students. In this week we are going to actually look into the topic of minimization of a deterministic finite automata, right? And if you remember, in our last class we had read about the epsilon NFA, that is how to transform an epsilon NFA to a DFA, and we have also studied about milli and more machine and the interconversion, the method of interconverting a milli to a more and a more to a milli machine, right? So in today's class we are going to learn some specific methods for minimizing a DFA. So before I start, why is this important? Because obviously whenever you are designing anything, you are designing any machine, you will always want it to be more optimal, right? You will want that you can design it with a lesser number of states, because the lesser number of states, the more efficiently you can do the same amount of work with a what should I say, with a lesser space complexity, right? So what we do over here is, once you have already solved many problems where you have generated a DFA for a language, right? Now it's not necessary always that the DFA that you have generated is in its minimal form. So you should know the method to find the minimal DFA from a normal DFA that is given to you. That is, minimization method should be known to you. So basically we follow two very popular minimization methods. One is equivalence theorem and another is Myhill-Nerode theorem. So in today's class we will be looking into equivalence theorem, right? So let me share my screen.
Ma'am, I had a question that suppose we have been given a DFA, so without applying the minimization technique, can I say that the DFA is minimized or not?
Just by looking at the DFA.
Yes, yes,
See,
yes.
it's not always possible to just look at the DFA and say that it is in its minimal form, and that is why we have these methods. Now, if it's a very, it's a very small DFA, you might sometimes look into it and get to understand, okay, we cannot, further minimize it. Now, that is up to your practice. You don't have a hard and fast rule for just looking into a DFA and telling that okay, it's in its minimal form. We do not have such a rule. You can just check and trial and error method, you can try over it, and that is why we have this conventional methods for trying to minimize. Okay.
Okay. So that means suppose if you are given a string that we are suppose given a loop that let's say it is a grammar of strings that ends with starts with a and end with just something, just an
Hmm.
arbitrary example. So
Hmm.
and we are asked to find the number of states in the minimal DFA expression corresponding to the given grammar.
So in
So
that
first of
case,
all
yeah,
we
you find the, you at first design the normal DFA and then you try to minimize it. If it's like if you see that it's getting minimized well enough, if it's not getting minimized, then you will understand that it is the minimal form itself. Okay.
okay, okay, okay. So that means it will be a bit time consuming
A bit
process.
time consuming process. Yeah. If
Okay.
it's not getting minimized in the very first step, if you understand while minimizing that okay, minimization is not possible, then it's not time consuming. But if you see that minimization is actually occurring, then yes, it is a time consuming process.
Okay.
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 Okay. So as I was saying, we have two very popular methods for minimizing a DFA. One is equivalence theorem and another is Myhill-Nerode theorem. So today we will be looking into equivalence theorem. Again, I have the steps written for you which you can refer to later on. I'll directly go to the example. So this is the DFA given to us. Okay. As you can see, we have 6 states: Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5, out of which Q4, Q1 and Q2 are final states and Q0, Q3, Q5 are non-final states, right? Achha, I am properly audible now to all of you, because there is a lot of background noise actually, that's why I am asking. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
You're audible.
Okay, okay. Thank you. So, firstly, what you are going to do is, we are going to follow partitioning method. Okay, so we are going to partition these states in each step. So, in the very first step, how are we going to partition it? We are going to name the first partition as P0, and look at the partitioning scheme. I have put the non-final states in one set, that is Q0, Q3, Q5 in one set, and Q1, Q4, Q2 in another set. So I have basically put the final states in one set and the non-final states in one set, and this is a partition I have made with two components in it. Okay, so I have partitioned the entire number of states into two sets, and this is my first partitioning. Okay, now this is the first step that is to be followed for any and every question that you are given. You will segregate the final states and the non-final states. Good. Now next, in the next step, what we will do is we will try to partition these sets to further extent. We will check whether Q1, Q2, Q4 can be partitioned to a next level, whether Q0, Q3, Q5 can be partitioned to a next level. That checking we have to do. Now how to do that checking, depending upon which criteria are we going to check. So listen to this one very carefully. For the set Q1, Q2, Q4, right, I will take the first set Q1, Q2, Q4. Check for each pair. First take the pair Q1, Q2. So Q1 on getting a 0, it goes to Q2. Q2 on getting a 0, it again goes to Q2. Fine. Now over the alphabet 1, check the same thing. Q1 on getting a 1 goes to Q5. Q2 on getting a 1 goes to Q5. So if you look at the trend of the next states of this Q1 and Q2, you will see that both of the states converge to the same next state. Q1 and Q2 both on getting a 0 goes to Q2. Q1 and Q2 both on getting a 1 goes to Q5. Whenever such convergence is there, we say that Q1 and Q2 are not distinguishable, or in other words, we cannot partition Q1 and Q2. We cannot separate Q1 from Q2. They are like a entity. We are not separating them. So we are not partitioning Q1 and Q2.
Basically, both the next state values, I mean, they should be in the same group. I mean,
They should
if
be.
I mean,
They
if it is,
should be in the same set basically. Okay, they should be in the same set. For this example, till now, since it's the same state, I am referring to that. When I will get that scenario where it's the same set, I'll explain that. Okay. So for now, we can say that Q1 and Q2 are not distinguishable or not separable, and they are not partitioned, right? Now you have to check the same thing for Q1, Q4, because we are checking pairwise, right? So checking for Q1 and Q4, you again get to see that Q1 on getting a 0 and Q4 on getting a 0 goes to Q2. Q1 on getting a 1, Q4 on getting a 1 goes to Q5. So again they are converging to a same state. So again we can conclude that Q1 and Q4 are not distinguishable. So we cannot separate Q1 and Q2. We cannot separate Q1 and Q4. So we can say that from this, we can say that we cannot separate any of these states from any of them. That is Q1, Q2, Q4. All the three are in the same set. We are not able to partition them. Okay. So once this is determined, we will next try to check the same thing for Q0, Q3, Q5, that whether we are able to partition Q0, Q3, Q5 or not. So let's go to Q0, Q3, Q5. Achha. We repeat the same thing. Q0 on getting a 0, it goes to Q3. Q3 on getting a 0, it goes to Q0. Now, here the case is a bit different. They are not converging to the same state. It's Q3, it's Q0. But one thing, Q3 and Q0 both are the components of the same set in our present partition. I repeat, if you check our present partition, this was our present partition. One set was Q1, Q2, Q4, one set was Q0, Q3, Q5. So here when I am getting the next state as Q3 and here the next state as Q0, what I'll check is whether Q0 and Q3 are the entities of the same set in the present partition. The answer to this question is yes. Q0 and Q3 are both present in the same set of our present partition. Similarly, Q0 on getting a 1 goes to Q1 and Q3 on getting a 1 goes to Q4. So Q1 and Q4, are they the participants of the same set? Yes, Q1 and Q4, they are both the entities of the same set in the present partition. So we can again say that Q0 and Q3 are not distinguishable, not separable. So in the previous case we did see that they had the next states converged to the same state. Here also, it's not converging to the same state, but they are converging to states which are part of components of the same set of the partition, of the present partition, and therefore Q0 and Q3 are also not separable or distinguishable. We cannot partition Q0 from Q3. Now we have to check the same thing for Q0, Q5. So check it for Q0, Q5. Q0 on getting a 0, it goes to Q3. Q5 on getting a 0, it goes to Q5. Q0 on getting a 1 goes to Q1, and Q5 on getting a 1, it goes to Q5. Okay, now look at this. The next set is Q3, the next set is Q5. So fine, I don't have a problem because Q3 and Q5 are the parts of the same set. But what about this one? This one is one is Q1, one is Q5. But Q1 and Q5 are are states which are in separate sets of the present partition. Here we have Q1 in the first set and we have Q5 in the second set. So they are not part of the same set in the current partition, and therefore if we get such a scenario, basically we can say that this Q0 and Q5, they are separable, they are distinguishable. Why? Because on encountering the alphabet 1, they are moving to a next state which are not the participants of the same set in the present partition. Q1 is in the first set and Q5 is in the next set. Therefore Q0 and Q5 can be distinguished, can be separated, can be partitioned. And therefore if you look here, this is our second partition where we have Q1, Q2, Q4 remains intact. Why? Because we have already seen that this cannot be partitioned, so it remains intact. What has been partitioned? Q5 has been partitioned. Q0, Q3 cannot be partitioned, we have checked, so Q0, Q3 again remains together, and what gets separated is Q5 gets separated as a separate set in the present partition. So this is a present partition which contains 3 subsets: Q1, Q2, Q4, Q0, Q3 and Q5. So this is the second step. Second step has been completed. Now in the third step, what to do? In the third step, we will be checking the same thing again. We will try to see whether Q1, Q2, Q4 can be partitioned, or Q0, Q3 can be partitioned, or Q5 can be partitioned. That is the checking that we are going to do. Okay. So for Q1, Q2, Q4, again if you observe, Q1 and Q2 both on getting a 0 moves to Q2, Q1 and Q2 both on getting a 1 goes to Q5. So since they are converging to the same state, they are not distinguishable. Fine. Similarly for Q1 and Q4 also you will see that they are not distinguishable. It is the same thing, I am not repeating. So Q1, Q2, Q4 remains intact. We are not going to partition it, or we are not able to partition it anymore. Now see, Q5 is something which contains a single entry, so there is no meaning of trying to segregate or partition Q5. Another thing that we need to check is whether Q0, Q3 will remain in the same set, or we will be able to partition it. That we need to check. So that checking can be done over here. We have Q0, Q3. Again Q0 on getting a 0 goes to Q3, Q3 getting a 0 goes to Q0, Q0 on getting 1 goes to Q1, and Q3 on getting 1 goes to Q4. And again The same thing, Q3, Q0 are the part of the same set, and Q1, Q4 is also the part of the same set. Therefore, we can say that Q0 and Q3 are not distinguishable, they are not partitioned, they are not separable, they will be the part of the same partition, right? So Q5, again I already told you Q5 cannot be partitioned. So the final partition that we are getting is, we can say that the final partition, which is similar to the previous partition or P1, I have just written it once again. It's consisting of 3 sets, Q1, Q2, Q4, Q0, Q3 and Q5. Now once you have obtained the final step, see, you cannot change, you cannot get more partitions, because we have already seen from P1 to P2 there is no change. So even if you try changing P2, the contents won't be changed, you won't be able to partition it anymore, right? So this is my final step or final answer. Now how to draw the DFA? I am supposed to draw the minimized DFA, right? So how to do that? So see, Q1, Q2, Q4 is one state in your minimized DFA, Q0, Q3 is another state, and Q5 is another state. So the figure would look something like this. If these are the sets you get in your partition, so Q1, Q2, Q4 is one state, Q0, Q3 is another state, and Q5 is another state. Now how to get the initial and final states? Obviously Q0 was the initial state, so here the set that contains Q0 will be the initial state, that is Q0, Q3, and obviously the set that will contain the final states will be the final state over here. So Q1, Q2, Q4 will be the final state, right? And additionally we have Q5 as well. And how to determine the transitions? It is also very easy. Just look at the DFA that you were given in the question. So just one example, you see Q0, Q3 suppose. So Q0 on getting 0 goes to Q3, Q3 on getting a 0 goes to Q0. So it remains within itself. Q0 remains within Q3, Q3 remains within Q0. So I can just put a self loop for 0, because both of them actually they reiterate within themselves, right? And on getting a 1, Q0 goes to Q1, Q3 goes to Q4. So Q1, Q4 are the part of the same state actually in the new DFA. So I can just put this transition from Q0, Q3 to Q1, Q2, Q4 with a level 1, right? Similarly, if you check for Q1, Q2, Q4 for the transition 0, see Q1 on getting a 0 goes to Q2, Q2 on getting a 0 remains at Q2, Q4 on getting a 0 goes to Q2. So everything is converging to Q2, which is a part of this state as well. So I can just put a self loop, because it is returning back to itself once it is getting a 0 input alphabet. And on getting a 1, where is it going? It goes to, see, all the states are going to Q5. So I'll just put a transition from this state to Q5 with the input alphabet 1. So this is how you can map from this given DFA to the minimized DFA. Once you get the sets, once you get the partition, you're almost done. The process is almost done. Drawing the DFA is not a big deal. Okay. So this was the overall process basically, where we partition the states and keep on doing it until and unless you see that you are not able to get more partitions, right? So if you have any confusion in the process, because I don't know whether it's a bit, it might look a bit confusing to you since you are getting it for the first time. So if there is any confusion at any point of at any point or at any step, that how am I deciding whether the states are distinguishable? That is the main focus of the entire process. That is how to understand whether two states are distinguishable, or can they be partitioned or not. That is the main focus point. So if you understand that part, it's fine. But if you have any confusion regarding how am I actually determining whether two states are distinguishable or not distinguishable, then please clear your doubt right now. Okay, otherwise you'll face difficulty in solving this kind of problem, like this minimization problems. So anybody, any doubt,
Yeah, so basically, while checking that any two states whether they will be distinguishable or not, I will be looking at the present set, or I will be looking at I mean whenever let's say in the first state P0 is equal to Q1 Q2 Q4 one group one set, and Q0 Q3 Q5 that was another
Hmm.
set. So when I am checking that Q0 Q3 Q5 are distinguishable or not. So we found that Q5 is distinguishable from Q0 and
Hmm.
Q3. So my one doubt is while checking that Q0 and Q3, or let's say Q0 and Q5
Hmm.
are distinguishable or not, I will be just
The
looking at the
present
present set. That
partition.
is
Yes.
present
Present
set.
set partition.
Okay, okay.
Exactly. Exactly.
That means I will be in that case I will be considering Q0, Q3, and Q5 to be in the same
Yeah,
state.
you
Right.
will consider the partition P0.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Okay. Yes, I will consider the partition P0.
Yes.
Right, right. Okay.
Any more doubts, anyone? Okay. So,
Yeah, one more
yeah.
question. So let's say
Hmm.
that let's say in this diagram that you have shown, there are I can see there are six states in the given
Hmm.
DFA. So is there any formula rule to find that how many number of states will be there in the minimized DFA, or you have to draw the minimal
See,
DFA?
now see, once you have reached the final state, now this one, once you have obtained the final partition, and in the question, if it's a MCQ and it's given that how many states will be there in the minimized DFA, you need not draw the diagram. Since the number of sets you get is 1, 2, and 3, you can simply say that there will be 3 states in my
Yeah,
minimized DFA. But there is no
that
hard
means
and
in
fast
the
formula for this. You have to do the entire process.
so in the final partition,
Hmm.
the number of states will be equal to the
Number of
number of
states.
states in the
Yeah,
minimum
yeah,
DFA.
yeah. Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. So rest of you, everything is clear, right? Since I'm not getting any queries, I'll assume that the process is clear to all of you. So in that case, okay, thank you. Uh, Very good. So in that case, what you do is, I have a small problem for you. I have also given the solution, as you can see. But what I want from you is, you take 10 minutes, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes, whatever you want, maximum 10 minutes, and give me the step by step process. This is your given DFA. There is a question given to you is this DFA, and you're asked to minimize the DFA. Again, I have also drawn the minimum minimized DFA for your reference, but what I want from you is, I want at each step what are the partitions I am getting, I want those partitions from you. So take some time, do the partitioning, and then it's 11:58. So at 12 8 or 12:07, I'll be asking all of you that what are the I want the partitions that you get at each step. That's it, because the final diagram I have already drawn. So take the time and try to solve the problem, try to get the partitions. Okay.
Ma'am, so here in the problem, there are basically four non-final states, Q0, Q1, Q2,
Mm-hmm.
Q3, and the final state is Q4. So in the P0
Mm-hmm.
partition, the two sets will be Q0, Q1, Q2,
Hmm.
Q3, and another will be
Yeah,
Q4.
yeah.
Okay. So here we see that if we just compare the sets amongst themselves, we can see that Q0, Q1, Q2 will form one partition, but Q3 will be distinguishable from the other partitions,
Hmm.
because if I just look at the diagram from Q0 to from Q0 to A, we will be going to Q1. From Q3 to A, we will be going to Q1. Okay, fine. Q1 is in the same set, on the same set
Correct,
is
correct.
achieved. But from Q0 to B, I am going to Q2. But Q2 to B, I am going to Q4. But in the P0 partition, Q2 and Q4 are there in the different sets.
Yes,
So Q3 will be distinguishable from
correct,
the rest of the partition.
correct.
So the partition P1 will be equal to Q0, Q1,
Huh.
Q2, then Q3, and then
Correct,
Q4. So there will be three
correct,
sets.
correct, correct.
Now in the next partition, I mean in the P2 partition, I will be seeing that if I Q1 will be distinguishable from Q0, Q2, because let's say from Q0 to I am going to Q1, Q1 to I am going to Q1. Okay, fine. Q0, Q1, Q2 are in the same set in P1, but from Q0 to B I am going to Q2, and from Q1 to B I am going to Q3. But if in the P1 partition, Q2 and Q3 are there in the different sets,
Correct.
so they do not belong to the same set. So the P2 partition will be Q0, Q2, then Q1, then Q3 and Q2. So
Basically,
there
yes,
will be four
yes,
sets,
yes.
and after that I find that I cannot bring any more
Correct,
partition. I mean I cannot
correct,
partition it
correct,
anymore.
correct.
So this will be the four states, and from there I can easily draw the
Correct,
DFO.
correct.
I mean,
Absolutely correct.
okay, this part is quite easier than Keystone Automata. The Keystone Automata part is very much confusing. I do not understand anything.
Which part?
Keystone
Oh, अच्छा
Automata, the part
Coolstone.
which Pithililka
अच्छा
covers.
अच्छा okay, okay, okay.
Actually, he is so fast. He doesn't even breathe in between his lecture. That makes such
Okay,
annoying.
fine. If I get a time after completing my portion, I'll try to cover the doubts. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Rest of you also, please try. Uh, See, once you are able to solve this is quite easy. I'll be contented that okay, all of you are easy with the process. So rest of you also just make a try of doing this. Okay. Yeah, yes, it's okay, Satya Prakash. It's yeah, Q0, Q2, and you have Q1, you have Q3. Yeah, it is absolutely correct. Good. Okay, so I think for most of you it's quite easy, and you will be able to solve it anyways. Still, if you face any problem, you can contact me. Okay. So for now, you can actually leave this meet and take your IMCRP test. We again have a class tomorrow, and I'll just cover the second method, that is Myhill-Neroda method, for tomorrow. Okay. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank